Each one of us carries within a silent dialogue, a conversation between the visible parts of our personality and those we prefer to keep hidden. Carl Jung dedicated his life to exploring this inner dialogue, helping us understand that the anxiety many of us face is not an enemy, but a guide, a signal inviting us to look deeper within ourselves. What we experience as anxiety might be our psyche's call to free ourselves from the superficial and begin exploring our authenticity. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you felt that knot in your stomach, that weight in your chest that seems impossible to explain? Jung taught us that those moments of unease are signs that something within us is out of balance. They aren't flaws or weaknesses. They're an invitation. Instead of pulling away from that feeling, Jung encourages us to stop and listen to what our soul is trying to tell us. Every emotion we repress, every fear we ignore, continues to live within us, seeking ways to come to light. Imagine you're carrying an invisible backpack filled with unresolved experiences, thoughts, and emotions. Over time, that backpack grows heavier, affecting not just how you feel, but also how you perceive the world around you. According to Jung, anxiety is like the extra weight in that backpack, a constant reminder that there's something you need to let go of or integrate to move forward. Have you ever found yourself in your toughest moments reflecting on who you really are? That's the essence of Jung's message. Those moments of crisis aren't punishments. They're opportunities. They're the way our unconscious mind pushes us toward change, toward growth. When we ignore these calls, when we try to keep up appearances or follow external norms that don't resonate with our essence, the anxiety intensifies. It's as if our psyche is saying, stop, something needs attention. One of Jung's most profound teachings is that within each of us lies a conflict between what we show the world and what we truly are. The mask we wear to fit in, to be accepted, can distance us from our true nature. And this is where the shadow comes in. That fascinating concept Jung developed. The shadow is nothing more than the parts of ourselves we've chosen to ignore or deny because they don't fit the image we want to project. What's curious is that, though we try to hide our shadow, it always finds a way to manifest, sometimes as anxiety, other times through repetitive patterns in our relationships, or even in the conflicts we face with others. The shadow is like a mirror reflecting what we need to integrate to become whole, and the more we reject it, the more it pursues us. It's at this point that we must make a decision. We can keep ignoring these signals, letting anxiety and discomfort pile up, or we can face them with courage. Facing our shadow doesn't mean fighting it. It means embracing it, understanding it, and letting it show us what we need to learn. Jung tells us that by integrating our shadow, we uncover an immense source of power and creativity. What once felt like a burden transforms into a tool for our growth. When we decide to look our anxiety and shadow in the face, something powerful begins to happen. We discover aspects of ourselves that had remained hidden. Carl Jung described this process as individuation, a journey toward wholeness where we integrate all parts of our psyche, both the light and the dark. It's in this journey that we start to realize anxiety isn't an enemy, but an ally pushing us to grow. Imagine for a moment that you're sailing a turbulent ocean. The waves represent your emotions, your fears, your doubts. You can fight those waves, exhausting yourself in the attempt, or you can learn to observe them, understand their rhythm, and flow with them. Jung invites us to do just that. Observe our emotions without judging them, allow ourselves to feel, and recognize what they're trying to say. Anxiety, as uncomfortable as it may be, has a purpose. It's like an alarm alerting us that something in our life needs to change. Maybe it's a relationship that doesn't serve us, a job that pulls us away from our values, or even beliefs we've inherited but no longer resonate with who we are. Listening to that alarm takes courage because it often means making tough decisions. But it's precisely in those moments of discomfort where the potential for transformation lies. Jung also spoke of the importance of symbols and dreams in this process. Our unconscious, that part of our mind holding our deepest desires, communicates with us through images and symbols. Maybe you've had recurring dreams that seem strange or even disturbing. According to Jung, these dreams are messages from your unconscious, inviting you to explore parts of yourself you've been ignoring. For example, a dream where you're lost in a forest might symbolize a sense of disconnection from yourself or your purpose. Or perhaps you dream of a fierce animal chasing you, representing a repressed fear or desire. These symbols aren't random. They're guides that can help you understand yourself better and make decisions aligned with your true self. The power of these symbols isn't in interpreting them literally, but in letting them awaken something within you. It's as if each symbol were a key unlocking a door to your unconscious, revealing aspects of yourself that need to be recognized and integrated. And when you start paying attention to these messages, something wonderful happens. Your anxiety begins to transform into clarity, into a compass guiding you toward a more authentic life. On this path, it's also crucial to question the stories we tell ourselves. Jung believed that many of the narratives we repeat in our minds come from conditioning, from expectations we've internalized without questioning. Maybe you've told yourself you're not good enough, that you don't deserve happiness, or that success is something only others can achieve. These beliefs, though they seem harmless, deeply impact how we perceive the world and the decisions we make. Anxiety in this context can be seen as resistance to those limiting stories. It's as if a part of you knows those narratives aren't true and is fighting to break free from them. When you choose to listen to that part of you, when you decide to question those beliefs and replace them with ones more aligned with your truth, you begin to experience a profound shift. You no longer feel trapped in an endless cycle, but start to see possibilities where there were only limitations before. Jung reminds us that this process isn't linear. There will be days when you feel more connected to yourself and others, when fear and doubt return. And that's okay. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's an ongoing journey, a dance between chaos and order. The important thing is to keep moving forward, trusting that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your authenticity. As you progress on this path of self-discovery, it's essential to recognize that anxiety isn't just a messenger, it's also a catalyst. It's the fire that, though uncomfortable, has the potential to forge a more authentic version of yourself. Carl Jung taught that we can't transform what we're unwilling to face. That's why the first step to using anxiety as a tool for transformation is learning to be present with it instead of running away. Think of anxiety as an unexpected guest knocking at your door. You can ignore it, pretend it's not there, or even try to push it away. But until you invite it in and listen to what it has to say, it'll keep insisting. This is the approach Jung proposed, facing our emotions, no matter how uncomfortable, with curiosity instead of judgment. How can you start this process? One of the most effective methods is through conscious introspection. Take a few minutes each day to sit in silence, close your eyes, and allow yourself to feel whatever is present within you. It's not about analyzing or finding immediate solutions. It's about being with your emotions as they are. Maybe you feel a knot in your stomach, a weight in your chest, or a generalized restlessness. Observe those sensations and ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to show me? Jung believed that when we allow ourselves to listen to our emotions, we uncover messages that go beyond the superficial. For example, the anxiety you feel before making an important decision might be your unconscious signaling that the choice isn't aligned with your values. Or maybe that sense of emptiness that sometimes overwhelms you is an invitation to reconnect with yourself and what truly matters in your life. Besides introspection, another powerful resource is reflective writing. Take time to write about your emotions, fears, and recurring thoughts. Do it without censorship, letting the words flow freely. This exercise will not only help you release what's inside, but also allow you to identify patterns or beliefs you might not have noticed before. For instance, you might discover that behind your anxiety lies a fear of not being enough or a sense of disconnection from your dreams. These discoveries, though they may be painful, are the first step toward transformation. As Jung said, what you deny submits you, what you accept transforms you. When you choose to accept what arises within you, you begin to reclaim your power. Another crucial aspect of this process is learning to work with your shadow. Your shadow isn't your enemy. It's a part of you longing to be seen and understood. Jung proposed that integrating the shadow not only frees us from anxiety, but also unlocks immense creative potential. The energy you once used to repress those parts of yourself can now be redirected toward your goals, passions, and purpose. Imagine, for example, that you've been repressing your creative side because someone once told you you weren't good enough. That part of you, relegated to the shadow, might manifest as frustration, insecurity, or even a feeling of being stuck. But when you decide to face that limiting belief, when you allow yourself to explore your creativity without fear of judgment, you discover a source of energy and satisfaction you didn't know you had. This integration process doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience, compassion, and a constant commitment to yourself. But every small step you take, every moment you choose to face your fears instead of fleeing them, brings you closer to your authenticity. One of the most fascinating aspects of anxiety, according to Carl Jung, is its connection to our relationships. Jung believed that our interactions with others act as mirrors, reflecting aspects of ourselves we might not want to see or haven't recognized. This is especially evident in close relationships, partners, family, deep friendships, where our shadows tend to manifest most intensely. For example, maybe you've noticed that certain people or situations trigger intense emotions in you, like anger, insecurity, or jealousy. Instead of blaming the other person or trying to change the external situation, Jung suggested these reactions are an opportunity to reflect on what's happening inside you. What part of you is reacting? Is it a past wound needing attention? Is it a limiting belief you're projecting onto the other person? Anxiety in this context can act as a compass pointing to the aspects of our relationships that need transformation. Maybe you realize you're holding on to connections that no longer resonate with you, relationships that drain you instead of lifting you up. Or perhaps you discover that, to protect yourself from potential hurt, you've built emotional barriers that prevent you from experiencing true intimacy. The process of healing these dynamics begins with honesty. Ask yourself, am I being authentic in my relationships? Am I letting others see who I really am, with my strengths and vulnerabilities? Jung emphasized that true connection is only possible when we stop wearing masks and allow ourselves to be seen as we are. This can be terrifying, but it's also deeply liberating. Jung also spoke of synchronicity as a phenomenon that manifests when we're in tune with ourselves. Synchronicity is that feeling that everything fits perfectly, as if the universe is conspiring in your favor. Maybe you've experienced moments when everything seemed to flow. You met the right person at the right time, or an unexpected opportunity arrived just when you needed it. What's interesting about synchronicity is that it doesn't happen by chance. According to Jung, it's the result of aligning our inner world with our outer actions. When you listen to your anxiety, integrate your shadow, and make decisions that reflect your truth, you create a state of coherence that manifests in the world around you. However, reaching this state requires letting go of control and trusting the process. Often, our anxiety arises because we try to force outcomes or cling to things that no longer serve us. But Jung reminds us that true power lies in the ability to surrender to the unknown, trusting that the path we're walking will lead us exactly where we need to be. A practical example of this is learning to let go of relationships or situations that are no longer aligned with your essence. Maybe you're afraid to leave behind something familiar, even if you know it doesn't make you happy. This fear is natural, but Jung encourages us to see it as an opportunity for growth. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means opening space for something new, something more in harmony with your authentic self. Moreover, working with anxiety in the shadow also transforms your relationship with yourself. You begin to develop a deeper connection with your intuition, that inner voice that's always been there, but that we often ignore amid external noise. Your intuition isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a powerful guide that helps you make decisions from a place of clarity and authenticity. When you trust your intuition, you start to notice that the universe's signals become clearer. Maybe you find a book, overhear a conversation, or have a dream that seems to directly answer a question you've been asking yourself. These experiences aren't coincidences. They're examples of how your unconscious and the universe work together to guide you toward your purpose. To bring these ideas into practice, it's crucial to implement strategies that allow you to work with your anxiety and shadow intentionally. Jung taught us that transformation doesn't happen simply by understanding our emotions. It happens by actively integrating them into our daily lives. Here are some practical exercises and approaches to help you turn your anxiety into a tool for transformation. 1. Dialogue with your shadow. A powerful exercise is creating a safe space to converse with the parts of yourself you've been repressing. You can do this through writing. Take a notebook and write as if you're speaking directly to your shadow. Ask it, "What do you need from me? Why are you here? What have you been trying to tell me?" Don't worry about the words that come up. Just write whatever comes to mind. Often you'll discover that your shadow isn't there to sabotage you, but to protect you or teach you something valuable about yourself. This exercise will not only help you understand your emotions, but also reduce the intensity of your anxiety by giving it a space to express itself. 2. Mapping triggers. Another useful exercise is identifying the patterns or situations that tend to trigger your anxiety. Take a moment to reflect on the last few times you felt intense anxiety. What sparked it? Was it a specific interaction, a decision you had to make, or a recurring thought? Once you identify these triggers, write them down and ask yourself, what beliefs are behind this reaction? For example, if you feel anxious about expressing your opinions, it might be because you have an underlying belief that your voice isn't valid or that you'll be rejected. By identifying these beliefs, you can start to question them and replace them with affirmations more aligned with your truth. 3. The practice of letting go. Jung spoke of the importance of releasing what no longer serves us to make space for the new. A practical exercise for this is visualizing the act of letting go. Close your eyes and imagine you're holding a rope representing a relationship, situation, or belief that causes you anxiety. Notice how it feels to hold it. Then imagine letting go of the rope and releasing it. Feel the lightness this brings to your body. Repeat this practice whenever you feel resistance to letting go of something you know isn't aligned with you anymore. Over time, you'll notice this simple exercise helps you release built-up tension and reclaim your energy. 4. Meditation and guided visualization. Meditation is an invaluable tool for connecting with your unconscious and reducing anxiety. Spend a few minutes each day sitting in silence, focusing on your breath. As you inhale, mentally repeat, "I accept what I am." As you exhale, say, "I let go of what I don't need." Another powerful practice is visualizing a meeting with your shadow in a safe place. Imagine a peaceful landscape where you encounter this part of yourself. Observe how it looks, what emotions it conveys, and what message it has for you. This visualization will help you integrate aspects of your psyche that once seemed conflicting or threatening. 5. Synchronicity in action. As we mentioned earlier, synchronicity happens when you're aligned with your inner truth. To foster this alignment, pay attention to the signals around you. Keep a journal where you record meaningful coincidences in your life. For example, maybe you find a book about a topic you were exploring, or you meet someone who seems to have the answers you were seeking. These signs aren't accidents. They're reflections of your inner work. Recognizing them and acting on them will strengthen your trust in the transformation process. 6. Creating energetic boundaries. Anxiety often arises when we let our energy be drained by relationships or commitments that aren't aligned with our authenticity. Learn to set clear boundaries, not from a place of conflict, but from self-love. This means saying no when something doesn't resonate with you and prioritizing activities, people, and situations that nourish you. Remember that protecting your energy isn't selfishness. It's a way to honor your essence. As you implement healthy boundaries, you'll notice your anxiety decreases and your clarity increases. As you move forward on this path of self-discovery, remember that anxiety isn't an insurmountable obstacle, but a powerful signal urging you to transform. It's the constant reminder that within you lies immense potential waiting to be unleashed. Carl Jung showed us that by embracing our shadows and listening to our unconscious signals, we can turn chaos into clarity and fear into strength. This process isn't easy, but it's deeply liberating. Imagine what your life would be like if you chose to face your shadows with courage. Listen to your anxiety as a guide and make decisions aligned with your authentic essence. What could you achieve? How would your relationships, purpose, and inner peace change? This isn't just a dream, it's a real possibility within everyone's reach. All you need is to take the first step. Now I ask you, which part of this message resonated with you the most? What action are you willing to take today to start transforming your life? I'd love to read your reflections in the comments. Your words matter not just to you, but can also inspire others going through similar challenges. Together, we can create a community where introspection and personal growth drive a fuller life. If you feel this message could help someone else, share it. Every time you share this content, you're helping these ideas reach more people who need to hear them. Transformation begins with you, but its impact can extend far beyond you. I also invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more content to guide you on your self-discovery journey. Each video is designed to walk you through the deepest ideas of Carl Jung and other great thinkers, adapted so you can apply them to your daily life. Anxiety doesn't define who you are. It's just a stage in your evolution process. Remember, every time you choose to face your fears, listen to your emotions, and act from your truth, you're creating a more authentic and meaningful life. It's an act of courage that not only benefits you, but also inspires those around you. Thanks for being here, for listening, and for being part of this community. Remember that change starts within you, but together we can transform our surroundings. See you in the next video. Until then, keep exploring your inner world, keep growing, and above all, keep trusting that everything you need is already within you. I'll be waiting for you in the comments.